1990s, and I did a lot of research, and we had to put down tons and tons and tons of research. And that research goes in to try to have some breakthroughs. And then in 2000, 2001, the breakthroughs started coming. So what we mean here is we have something that's not just theory, or not just trying to learn about the fragments of the old stuff that went down. What we actually have now is an actual working system. We've made contact, in so many words. We made contact in the particular realm of what's on the other side. So despite what most people are dealing with at this particular time as far as wondering if certain things is going to go off, you got the Christians worried about Jesus coming back, you got the Hebrews worried about the Messiah, you got Islam worried about the Mahdi. But what they don't realize is, and then you got all kind of white magical orders that's still looking for breakthroughs, but they've just basically been defunct. What we have now is there's several entities that's coming through the planet. They just ain't hanging out in the normal means of the established religions or in the white community. They're hanging out in the ghetto. So I still say keep in mind that there's actual living energies and entities and stuff that we're actually in contact with every day. There's even some more things. I'll go deeper into this today on how a lot of this stuff is going to come about. I just did a tape in New York called Babylonia, The Magic and Mystery of Love and Sex. And it's an awesome tape, about 5 hours long. And it took us 8 hours to do it because there was all kind of forces trying to stop us. But we finally got it done, and it's unbelievable. So what we're talking about here, we're also talking about certain forces and stuff we'll get into tonight that is actually happening. And we've noticed the change just in 2004 alone. There's a lot of things that's going down in the change in 2004 alone. But in order to track all this type of stuff, we got to find out what the actual government is doing in the actual news every day, because it's all types of stuff that's going on based on distraction and based on other things. So what we want to do is we want to get into some of that type of stuff too, as well as it really raises. Held on the medical level as far as you going to these doctors and different things like that. As far as you going to these doctors, we got all types of solutions. We got all all types of things that you can take. I used to have this combination of some vitamins that I took in 2000. I took them 10 years ago. I think 10, 11 years ago in 1993. And I couldn't never get the effect back because I lost one of the ingredients, and I only got the ingredients back probably a couple of months ago. So I want to give out that particular ingredients also. Want to give out that particular ingredients also. We need you to pay attention and start looking at the skies. In the Hermetic text, they said that the people will be so dead until they would not even look up to see if there's some strange stuff in the skies. You see what I'm saying? You got to look up at the skies. What we want to do is also want to give out a list. There's several boats, or what they call ships. These are coming from the Egyptian text. And these are coming from the Egyptian text. So if you want, I'm going to tell you, so some people got pencil and paper with it, to write down these boats. It's several boats and these ships. A lot of this stuff is also talking about the chakras and stuff that's on the inside of you. It's this on the inside of you also. Different aspects. So we're going to get into different things. Right now, a lot of the energy is happening on the heart chakra level. And the heart chakra level also deals with love, passion, and it deals with also being creative even in your sexual habits, in the aspect of not being conservative and breaking certain patterns and stuff that keep you on lockdown, which is called automaton when I get into this particular aspect. So we're going to deal with some of those too. But before we do that, let's go ahead and pour the libations and get this thing on the road. You all know the deal. And get this on the road. Like I said, I was in New York last weekend, and I also did a tape called Bobby Hemmitt's Dark Side Masterpiece in St. Louis, and I'm getting ready to do a part 2 to that. It's only an hour and 45 minutes long, but it's an awesome piece. Here goes again, trying to break up that same old mindset at this particular time. At this particular time, you shouldn't be accepting anything that is common sense and normal to the mind. Everything should have some type of what they call foresight. Two brothers in ancient Greece, which is ancient black Greece, Prometheus and Epimetheus. Prometheus is one who has foresight, and Epimetheus is one who has hindsight. Well, that's basically virtually black people. We have hindsight. Even when we think that we are being intellectual, and then when we think that we are only regurgitating some shit that was taught to us. So all our minds are a series of things that was taught to us, and we even have to challenge even if our thoughts is even free. Even when we talk about freedom, and our freedom is given to us by the doggone oppressor. So even the concepts of freedom and what we call free, you see what I'm saying, is given to us by the oppressor. I remember back in '99, I'm standing in the line down in Atlanta paying a fucking phone bill. You know, black people are the only ones now that go out and pay the phone bill now. White folks is either emailing it in or you know what I'm saying, a direct deposit or whatever. So you see a line full of people paying the phone bill, you know, you see, and then you know, when white folks used to do it, it used to be nice offices and stuff you can go into. When white folks graduate from that, nice check cashing places and shit like that. You know? So I'm in the damn line paying the phone bill, and this guy is out there, and he pulls up, he's in the line, and the cop comes to go write him a ticket. He gets out there before the cop even get out the car. And the cop still write him a ticket. And he come back in, and I looked at him and said, damn, here it is, you coming to pay one bill and receive another bill. And you say we free. He oh, we free. We free. Oh, we free. You see, so that whole concept here. Oh, we free. I'm like, even our concept of freedom is given to us by somebody else. And we must push the envelope. And I think a lot of you are on lockdown and stuff like that now because you're not thinking on a strange way, or adults don't supposed to have outlandish dreams and outlandish imagination. That means they got you on lockdown. You see what I'm saying? On lockdown, automaton. We're going to go into that particular thing. One of the most powerful ones is how creative you can get with your mate. You see what I'm saying? whether it be some whips or chains or handcuffs or blindfolds or whatever you do, you're going to have to push this shit to the other level than some Brady Bunch shit. So it's interesting, this the very thing that the white boys is telling you not to deal with it, the very thing that you talk about is freaky. Oh, that's freaky. That's the very thing that you need to do, at least in your imagination. Some of this stuff is damn impossible to do physically, especially if you ain't fucking 19. But you can at least have it in the imagination. Now, what I'm talking about here, I'm talking about things. You say, what has this got to do with us getting up out of here and us gaining particular control and power? It all starts with the inner mind and the body. And the Kundalini energy, which is the force in us, which is the force that they're fighting not to raise, is a sexual energy and a feminine energy. You see what I'm saying? And a feminine energy. A brother called me for help the other day, and you know, he wants this help. He wants me to help him out with certain situations going on in his life, but 90% of his thing is controlling his mate, putting her on lockdown, trying to control her mind. I'm like, look, man, this ain't the fucking Mac. You know, this ain't the Mac. This ain't no fucking pimp. Pimps up and holds down. And stuff, pimps up and holds down. I said, the realm that we are now in, the polarities changes that feminine realm. Right. If you're holding that down, you are actually going against the grain. Right. I said, you know, and the first thing I did, he was shaking his head, so I said, I tell you, I'm gonna give this sister a call, and we're gonna call down the entities and see can these entities help you. And the first thing they did is, we don't particularly like him. I said, oh shit. So there's things that's going on and all. We just got to challenge our minds, and we got to come out of just the everyday people. We're going to go into that type of thing when we really go into what's really going down, which means is this. We say now in Atlanta, if you see somebody with something on their mind, it might be every 2 months. One brother came up to me, he drive a UPS truck, and he was like, yo man, you told me last week it'd be 2 months before I see somebody with something on their mind. He's saying the level of ignorance is so bad amongst our people until whenever I see somebody with something on their mind, he said it ain't just 2 months. He said when I see somebody with something on their mind, it's like I look at them as an angel. So that means in an actuality, and I was like, man, that's what we're talking about here. The people who have a certain amount of knowledge are actually the angels. You see, are actually the angels. And I talk about my friend Bon Cece, who showed up in New York, and all the people was there last 2 weeks ago. And Bon Cece is 64 years old, and then got and about 2 years ago, in 62, got run over by a damn car. Car hit his ass, ran his ass over. He had on a white suit, and then he got up and walked 5 blocks to the sister house and came back to the wreck. And then they was looking for the guy that got run over, and it was like, well, this guy, he got tire tracks all over his white suit. He must be the one. And I'm like, damn, boss, did you break any bones? He was like, no, ain't nothing happened. I had a scratch on my face. He said the next morning that healed up. Now,